So first I will introduce myself. So hi, I'm Konstantin. I'm here with my colleague Sarah, sitting over there. She's doing most of the work with me together, like all of the work, I would say. If you want to reach out to us, there are our names, our university, also our Twitter names. We are both PhD students, and I hope to finish my PhD this year. Inshallah, we will see. And for Sarah, hopefully the same. I will talk briefly about the idea of the computer clubs, the project, so what did we do, then also what did we learn. It will be very short because since we don't just have 10 minutes, so if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. And also some takeaways, what can you learn? All right, so first the foundation. So I hope this works because this is my presentation from 2018 and I don't know if I can start the video. Device. Okay, so in 2018, I need to clarify something. So I presented very briefly our university, and in 2018 there was kind of a vote for the ugliest university of Germany, and Siegen was second place. So device, which are the ugliest universities in Germany, and we are the second place, and it says the main building looks like as someone has vomited a glass of blue curacao on the back of a fridge. And it looks like this, so this is like a real picture from Siegen. Yeah. Okay, this was 2018, so since then the university changed quite a lot. So we also changed the color of the university, and I think I had to clarify this for the kind of honor of our university. So what did we do? So our approach, our university, especially our chair, is that we try, before we do anything, to understand the local situation. So we work in different countries all over the world. Our professor is quite nice that he likes to kind of improve the world a little bit and kind of provides us with needed resources to work in South Africa, or it's more Botswana, so a little bit above South Africa, in Morocco, in Palestine, also in marginalized communities in Germany. And before we do anything, we try to understand the local situation. So we take our time before we start our intervention, which is usually done with the local population together. And based on this, since we are working at university, we need to kind of write papers about this. So we need to evaluate at one point what we are doing. And in the second step, we also try to understand how people appropriate our technology, our intervention by themselves. So it's not our approach that we tell them what to do, but it's more about that we learn together how this intervention kind of changes, maybe some local dynamics, how the intervention is then appropriate by the people themselves and how they use it for their own advantage or whatever they want to do. But what did we do? So in the past years, usually starting 2006 in Germany, but in the past years we established some computer clubs, one in the refugee camp in Ramallah, in Al-Amari. And here we kind of brought a lot of technology inside the refugee camp and had this really nice space and place and worked together with a local NGO. This was the only NGO I ever experienced in a refugee camp which also provided a space for children to play, which had a lot of activities for children. We had also some negative experience with other NGOs which didn't work so well out at the end, but this is a different story. And we also established 2 computer clubs in Morocco. You can see the pictures below, some projects we did. It's a lot about storytelling, it's a lot about kind of talking what you want to improve in your daily life, how you can use technology for this, because it's like our approach that we try to use technology to some degree, where we use it for personally meaningful projects. So at the end, it's not about learning how to use Word, Office, whatever. It's more about how to do some really cool projects by using technology. And we also have some computer clubs in Germany, which we try to combine or connect them with the ones in Palestine and also in Morocco. Right, since we don't have so much time, I will already come to the results. So what we did, I will just point out 2 different things. So the one thing is that we try to overcome borders. We were really naive at this point. We established this computer club in Palestine, in Ramallah, and the idea was, okay, we got the refugees living in the small cities, which are not like typical refugee camps you usually know from television or something else. It's like a really fledged out city, but it's also part of a bigger city like Ramallah. And we tried to kind of overcome these barriers that people usually don't, or borders that people usually, the normal population, to call it this way, go into refugee camps. And we're really naive that we tried to kind of have this computer club and bring them together, which we failed. But we could achieve something, and this was that we worked with the local university of Brezate, and we had a lot of students from the Brezate University coming into refugee camps, and it was the first time for them to come into refugee camps. So on the one side, we kind of overcome some borders, but we also connected people, and this was really cool. Because also for the children, they could kind of work with people from outside the refugee camp, which was really a nice experience for them, and they could also broaden the perspective on what they want to do afterwards, after maybe leaving the refugee camp if they can or want to. And the same, we tried then to also do projects by overcoming borders in terms of country borders, and we did a really nice project about upcycling from Germany and also in the refugee camp in Palestine. And it was also really cool that we could then kind of connect children from Germany with children in Palestine, and for both of them it was the first experience to kind of have this really nice exchange with someone from a totally different cultural background. For the German children it was really kind of mind-opening because they couldn't grasp the idea that there are children who can't go to the sea to kind of go swimming, so stuff like this. And we had a lot of discussions afterwards with children in Germany to try to explain what it means to live in a refugee camp for years, decades, not only nearly a century already. And also connecting people was really cool. What we did is that we took some of the projects we did in Germany. It was a really nice storytelling project by a Moroccan woman, and we took the stories they did and showed them to people, and especially older women in Morocco, in one of the valleys where we are working. It's close to Marrakesh. And for them it was like the first time experience that they're Moroccan women living a totally different life, but also kind of connected with them in Germany. And they were really eager to learn more about this. And this is like one of the ideas that we try to kind of have future projects together with Moroccan women in Morocco and German Moroccan women too. Okay, so I have like left 1 minute? 2 minutes. Okay, perfect. Let's go to the takeaways for you guys. Again, if you want to talk about this, I'm happy to talk about all of these topics, and my colleague Sarah as well. All right, I will be very brief with the takeaways. So what we learned is that if you want to have a kind of successful project, you need to work with local partners. Not only as gatekeepers, but also like to establish trust, to kind of understand, it's like the second or third point, understand the local situation about power dynamics. I think this was already mentioned quite briefly that you, as a Western researcher, you have a lot of power, you got money, you got knowledge, you got technology, and if you bring something like this to a different place, there are a lot of expectations. And this is something you also have to do then to manage expectations and be very open about what you want to do, and then kind of be open to what others want to do in this overall context. And you have to kind of trust your partners and their expertise, what you can achieve at the end. This was something we had to learn like the hard way, that we failed with many projects, but at the end we learned our lesson, and now we don't do projects without local partners. And this goes also to this point of identifying the local needs, that you can kind of have this really nice idea that you can overcome borders and you will connect people and you will bring world peace. And this is something you have to manage your own expectation, but also to understand what are the local needs and what do they want to do with the stuff you bring with you. And also you can't just bring stuff and tell them, okay, here's this 3D printer, just solve your local problems. It's more about kind of that it's a process to kind of talk with them and see, okay, what do they really need? Because we have some money and we would like to do some really cool project, but at the end it's also about the local needs. And what's really cool that we have this collaboration across borders. So it's not only like that you have this one space where you do your project and then it's kind of an isolated case. It's more about that you also kind of try to bridge borders and then connect them with other people and see how they can kind of come together and see what they can do together. All right, so I got like 10 seconds on my clock here. Thanks. Perfect on time. If you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. And let's have another nice talk here.